Hi, everybody. Welcome to Discover College Flag. I'm lucky enough today to be joined by Coach Lowe at Purdue Northwest. Welcome, Coach.
How we doing, man?
Doing well, doing well. Now, welcome to the inaugural episode of Discover College Flag. We were lucky enough to meet in person all the way in Amsterdam
Yes, sir.
a couple months ago because you are not only the Purdue Northwest head coach, but the Swedish national team head coach. So,
No, assistant head coach.
assistant head coach. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My
Shout
apologies.
out Coach Purvis.
Okay. All right. All right.
Gotcha.
Well, and you did beat my Irish girls the first time, but we got the better of you round
Got
two.
to the better of me
Round
the
two.
second
So
time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a good
Yeah.
good matchup. We got to find a rubber match in there sometime, maybe
Hmm.
when you guys meet in Prague. But
Yeah.
the best news was, we're two Columbus, Ohio guys, so
Yes,
so we
sir.
were able to get along right away,
Hmm.
even though we were on opposite sidelines.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
so
Yep.
I appreciate you jumping on to do this.
Hmm.
For folks that don't know, I also have a podcast called Discover College Soccer,
Okay.
which I started maybe, I don't know, 4 years ago at this point. But the whole purpose of that and now this is to just interview college coaches to so people can learn about recruiting, learn about schools they may not know about, learn
Hmm.
about the teams and that sort of stuff. So we're going to kick it off today with you, Coach Micah, and I appreciate you. Um,
I
so
appreciate you, Matt. This is really like helpful, and I think it's gonna be a huge recruiting resource for coaches.
Yeah,
So,
let's hope so, right?
mhm.
I want this to be good for coaches. I want this to be good for parents and players. Um, so having said that, let's talk about recruiting. I believe this past spring was Purdue Northwest first season, right?
Yes, sir.
A first official season. So how did you go about filling the roster for this past spring, and kind of what are you doing right now to get the roster set for next spring?
Okay, so I got the job, I think April 3rd, 2025. And so right when I got there, I had to jump right into recruiting. I think my second day I had three girls on campus. Now, I will say I am blessed to have my own club team called HTA, and we were the first girls travel team in Chicago. And so right now the two best Chicago flag teams are made up of mostly HTA girls that we originally had that first year. And so I've had a pretty large pool of girls that I can recruit from. So that first season, I think I got four, one, two, three. I got four girls from HTA on my team. Then the other girls I kind of got based off of, I really recruited Chicagoland very hard. I mean, it was just right in my backyard. And so there was girls I had trained before that were, kind of looking for a good school. And so the good thing, Purdue Northwest, we have a very inexpensive degree. It only costs 22,000. And so a lot of the flag schools, at least last year, were private NAIA schools that cost 40, 60, 45, $50,000. And so we were able to be really competitive. We were able to flip girls that were going to those private schools kind of late. And so we got about 18 girls. I would say also we had five girls who never played flag. So we had girls that were from, different sports. We had a soccer girl, we had a volleyball girl, we had a softball girl, we had a boxer. And so we kind of just said like, hey, look, if you come here and you really want to commit yourself to this, you will be a better flag player by the time the season came. And the girls that stayed, only one left, and that was because of scholarship situation. But the girls that stayed, they got better and they played. And so, yeah, we were able to get 18 girls this first year. And then recently, I would say we're now at 24. I think we did a really good job recruiting wise. We lost two seniors. And I would say like I had, I would say 9 commits up until February. So I was basically done with my recruiting. But since there has been some Division I schools to pop up, girls want to go to the highest level. And so I had the number one quarterback in Illinois. She decommitted and went to a Division I school. I was not upset about that. We had a girl that had got a late basketball offer. Couldn't be upset with that. So everybody that basically left, they went to a situation where they're either getting 80% or a full ride. And so, right now in flag, it's going to be really hard to cover girls at full tuition and room and board with an athletic scholarship. So again, lost some girls. And I've recently, man, Some of those states that play in the spring, I was able to see some film of some seniors that were like kind of like late bloomers. And I would say we stacked up. We got some really good girls recently. So the last couple days, I would say we've had three commits, and they were girls who, again, late bloomers. And so we're pretty happy with our recruiting class and how we've been doing things. And I think in the future, those girls that are 2028s, 2027s, they are going to understand the recruiting process way more than the 25s and 26, just because they have so many friends and there's so many resources out there for them to get educated that it's going to make it a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean it is kind of well, it's early days, right? We're the gold rush, setting things up for everybody else. So
Yeah, we're the
what
pioneers. This is
exactly there? Thank you. That was the word I was looking
what
for.
we say all the time is this is the NBA in 1950. That's how
Yeah,
we look
yeah,
at it like that.
yeah.
So like it could be whatever. Like there's gonna be girls that are gonna be like they're gonna be the name of trophies, from 20 years from now. Like there's gonna be stadiums, flag stadiums with these girls' names on them. It's gonna be amazing. And so I think it's really cool to be a part of this.
Well, one thing you just mentioned there was, high school spring folks, right? That were late bloomers, but then you also mentioned the club team situation there in Illinois. So, and in the last, I think the third component there you mentioned was girls that are coming from other sports as well, right?
Yeah.
Because it is, I mean, I know my daughter's flag team, the head coach did an amazing job of recruiting basketball, volleyball, soccer, and getting
Hmm.
those girls to then play in their off season, right? And
Hmm.
and and some girls have really shined because of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, talk to me about the difference between recruiting from club, because if you're playing club, to me that's that's you're focused, or maybe that's just you're doing that in a different off season or something, depending on
Mhm.
when it all is. So, what's the difference between recruiting club versus high school? And on the club scene, is it's because college is sevens, right?
Yes.
So college is sevens, internationals is fives.
Hmm.
Uh,
And
you
club
know,
is both five or
club,
seven.
like, right, and club can be both, right, depending on whatever tournament you enter. So how is
Yeah.
it different recruiting club, because it could be five or sevens versus high school? Like, just talk to me about that mix.
So I would say recruiting club, the girls know what's up. I don't know how to explain. Like, so the top club teams, most of them are getting recruited. Most of them have multiple offers. Most of them, like the either the director of the program or the head coach understands how stuff works, and they're actively trying to get the players out. And they have a frame of reference. They've seen the best talent, and so if they tell me that their girl is really good, more than not, I'm going to believe it. You get what I'm saying? So, but on the high school level, some of these coaches, no disrespect at all, were just teachers, and they just became coaches. And you know how many times I get, "Oh, my girl's the best in the state, the best in the state," and I'm like, "All right," like, like so. I kind of take with what they say with a grain of salt. I will say too, though, head coaches are making it. They make it pretty easy by sending out stuff like they are working. There are some high school coaches that really know what they're doing, and they are about the girls. But I would say now, when it comes to just recruiting the player that has not played club, like girls that are from like states where flag isn't just there yet. The hardest, not the hardest thing is, I would say that the easiest thing is getting the parents on board. Once you explain to them how fast flag really is growing and all the different things that I've been, blessed to be a part of, they're like, "Oh shoot, like it's not just some little game, it's not some just little NFL flag game anymore. Like this is legit." And like there are really good girls. So it's really been a great experience, or it's really been a great, I've had a great opportunity to like, be that first person to like show them really like real flag, and broaden their view on it. So that's what I would say is the difference.
Okay. Well, in in- well, at least in soccer, ID camps are always a big thing. And if you're scrolling on Instagram or Twitter these days, looking at anything flag related, there's these combines and camps popping up all over the place, right? Everybody
Yeah.
and their sister seems to be offering one of these things. Do you do you go to those? Do you work those? Are those an important part of the recruiting process at all at this point?
Yeah, so just so you know, like growing up in Ohio, I think my coaches did a great job of explaining how important camps are, going to like exposure camps, going to college camps. And so in high school, I went to 35 camps. And camps is what got me to get more exposure. So I was also a late bloomer my senior year. I did very well, but I only got on people's radar because I went to camps my junior year. I went to like 14. And so, yes, I go to so many camps. I try to work as many camps. I try to get my girls to work camps. It's a great networking tool, just to talk to different coaches, because this flag stuff is so new. And so there's not like, it's not just about looking at talent, right? You're trying to meet these coaches you're going to be coaching against, and just seeing what their situation is. But, camps are really great. I would say I've already been to maybe 10 or 12 camps so far. And I would say that we are preparing to have a string of camps in the wintertime in December this upcoming year. A lot of people, had camps or like their own college camp this summer. I think that a lot of people want to go other places besides Hammond, Indiana in the summertime. You get what I'm saying? So, but I do think that in the wintertime, we do have the ability to, have a camp in a controlled temperature, like just an indoor facility. And I think that we are going to put on some of the best camps in the wintertime that are probably, not going to be rivaled by too many things. Like, so I'm really excited about that.
What? Okay, so we talked about camps, we talked about club and high school. What about social media, right? Everybody likes to, looks I've seen all the kids throwing up their Instagram pages with highlights or fancy graphics or that sort of thing. Do you as a coach care at all about a kid's social media presence? Are you finding a kid because they posted a clip or anything else like that?
So I would say right now that is the best way. Like if you have a good social media, I've seen girls who are not good, who have 30 offers just because they're posting every day. And so, again, right now at this time, flag is so new that like a lot of schools just use it as a way to boost enrollment. So they're not really trying to get the best player. They're trying to get the most players. So a lot of ADs right now want you to have 25 to 30 girls on the team. If you're a D3, they want more. So these coaches have to just cast a wide net. And so the girls who have like the social media presence, those are the ones that are going to get more offers. Now, for me, like I really actually take the time to look at the highlight tape that you have. A lot of sometimes like with since high school flag is so not is it's not there yet on all at all the state in all the states. The high school film is really ugly, and it's just like either it's on the ground on an iPhone or like it's like like out of space because it's on the top of a press box and like no one's really working it. You get what I'm saying? So I really try to look for the film on Instagram, the high quality film that lets me see like the full rep. And again with the club teams, like they have like professional photographers at these places where you can see some really good film. So yeah, I would say yeah, film is definitely on your social media is definitely important, and it definitely separates the girls who might just have one post, and there's some girls that don't show their face and they just have one post, and then you don't know what they do. They want to be mysterious or whatever. So the girls, like I said, the girls that really post a lot and send their film out, those are the ones that I think are going to give them the best opportunities to get to college.
When it comes to film, does it have to be game film? Do you, or like is just like, you're in the backyard training and catching balls or running routes or
I
workout stuff? Is
do
that okay too? Like,
I do like seeing game film, but I have like my best player last year, or my most valuable player last year, who was a beast at rusher. I saw her game film, but like I said, some coaches just have it on the iPhone and it's kind of far away. I couldn't tell really how good she was, but like when she was rushing, she would run past the quarterback, and the way she would stop looked like the fast girls I watched when I watched track. And I was like, just that movement alone, I know what that looks like. Like I know those are superior athletes. And so took a chance on just that, and she
Okay.
was a beast. So I would say that there are, some states that again don't have sanctioned flag, and so if they have a receiver trainer or just any type of trainer and their trainers posting videos of them, if I can see the movement and see the potential, I can work with that.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, besides all the stuff on the field, talk to me. What are you looking for in a player off the field?
Obviously, we got to have a good person. I really not try to really recruit bad people, but it's really about the culture fit. I'm looking for someone who loves flag, not only loves flag, but loves the process of being great and being their best self. Um, if I can, I mean, I feel like that's like kind of like what I am, and I want to be around those type of people. And you don't have to be the best flag player. Like you don't have to go be a pro. You don't have to be on USA flag, right? But like if your role is to be a screener, do you take ownership of that and make sure, oh, your quarterback does not get her flag pulled? Does that make sense? Like I want a girl that will commit to their role. Um, I love leaders, but I told someone this before. I'm looking for really good followers as well. I don't need 20 leaders. You get what I'm saying? I think you will be developed into your own leader once you leave our program, but I don't need 20 people to have to try to step up and be the girl. You get what I'm saying? So I just need people that you know, can kind of fill in, don't have to be, like I said, just be a good follower, and I think we'll be good.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the school. I'm sure there's some people out there not familiar with Purdue Northwest, right?
Mhm.
So you've been there a little bit now, over a year. So what are some of the awesome things that you love about the school? Maybe some things we wouldn't even know if we went to the website.
Okay, so Purdue University Northwest is a part of the Purdue system, and so we are about an hour and a half away from, big main campus Purdue. But the great thing about our school is you do graduate with a Purdue degree. And so, last year for sure, I think we were the best. That was the best degree you could get while getting a scholarship for flag football. Now, obviously, more schools have like popped up, right? But like again, our engineering program is really great. So I think we are 46 in the country in engineering alone, pretty Northwest. And so like we have like our engineering club just went around and I think they won like the national championship or something. Don't quote me on, I think it was a regional championship. I apologize. But our school is right outside Chicago. So we're 30 minutes from, Chicago. If you take a train that's 2 minutes away from campus, you'll be in downtown Chicago in 39 minutes. So, I mean, as far as internships, just opportunities just to like have a good college experience, you're right by, a world-class city. Let's see, what else can I say about our school? I mean, we have 9,000 students, so a lot of D2 schools are pretty small, but around that 3 to 5,000 range. I think that we have a healthy, student population. We're also in the GLIAC. So the GLIAC, for people that don't understand or that don't know, the GLIAC is like the Big Ten of Division Two. The national champion for college football has come from the GLIAC the last 2 years. Women's basketball national champion came from the GLIAC. So we are very we are, I think, really the best sports conference in Division Two. And so I think, you know, with us we're about to have our first, GLIAC season. I think that we're probably going to be one of the best overall conferences in the country.
Yeah, for sure. No, the GLIAC is tough. Um, well, one of the hard parts about becoming a college athlete and going to college is balancing school plus your sport, right? So, how do your players specifically, balance the demands of being a college athlete and a college student, and maybe what support systems does the school offer to help them be
Oh man,
successful
so
in both?
that's one thing I think that separates us. So we have a very special person. Her name is Natalie Jarrett. She is the assistant athletic director in charge of student athlete success. And so she's the reason why we've had 10 straight years where our whole athletic department has averaged over a 3.0 GPA. And so, if you are late to class, if you've missed a class, the teacher, the professor will communicate with Nat or her GA, and I'll know by the end of the day. And so, like, we know what's up. Uh I think that there's just a lot of resources that we do have on campus. So, like, if you need accommodations, they're very, very accommodating at Purdue Northwest. I do think that the professors are tough. I think that they demand a lot out of you. But again, there's so many different resources. Just for the athletic department alone, every team is required to have 3 hours of mandatory study hall. Ours is proctored. Some people don't have that luxury, but no, ours is proctored. We want to make sure. I think that last year ours was proctored because we had, I think, 85% of our team was freshmen. And so that's not normal, for a college team. And so, it can get kind of high schoolish, right? So then when you proctor it, right, I think that our team GPA went up zero point 0.2 once we did that. So really happy with that. But I can't say enough about, Coach Natalie Jarrett. She is an amazing person for us. She's an advocate for our student athletes. Um, and I would just say that we would not be where we're at right now without Natalie Jarrett. So that's what I would say.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's rewind a little bit, take me back to the spring season. Um, Walk me through what's a typical week look like for a player in terms of when is, classes, meals, practices, game cadence, all that kind of what's a typical week look like?
Okay, so let's go January. Came back January 12th. The girls had lifting from 7 to 7:40. No. 6 to 6:45. Then they had class or whatever. Then we had meetings, probably from 1 to about 1:50. We're on the field 2 to 4. And then Monday and Tuesday, they would have mandatory study hall from 5:30, either 5 to 6:30 or 5:30 to 7, one of those two. And so you had to have both of those in by Wednesday, or you'd have to have your 3 hours in by Wednesday. Our games at the beginning of the season were typically like once a week. Since we had a lighter team and I only had one quarterback, I didn't want to chance my quarterback getting hurt, so I didn't want to schedule so many games early on. But more teams do schedule in February. February, early March, they want to get the kinks out earlier. But ours is kind of flipped. We had more games towards the end of the year, but mostly our games were on and Fridays, and the occasional Thursday.
Okay, all right. Well, in terms of the team, we talked a little, well, you mentioned how many were on your roster. What is your kind of roster size like when it's, I know you're in year two, so you're still building and you're heavy freshman, sophomore because it's early. Like
Mhm.
when it's all said and done and things are rocking and rolling, what do you feel is the right roster size for you
We'll
guys?
see. We'll see. I think that 19 or 20 could have worked if I had two quarterbacks last year. This year I think we'll have 24, 25. I could see us having up to 28. But with one assistant coach, I want to see how that works. So we'll play around with it and see what it looks like. Eventually though, I think I would love to have a pretty big squad. I would like to have 30 girls. Like if I was in a perfect world, 30 girls with like three or four coaches, I think that, and you play 22 games in a season, I think that gives everyone a fair opportunity to really get better. And I feel like you'll always keep people in, you always have people fresh, ready to play. Um, and yeah, so and you with people leaving left and right, I think that 30 gives you a chance to, unless you're a terrible coach, keep a good chunk of your team with, you losing people to the transfer portal.
You mentioned assistant coach, so just talk to me about, what does the staff look like, not only on the coaching side, but maybe support staff, trainers, anybody else who kind of helps out with the team.
Oh, so yeah, we have one trainer that's assigned to our team. We will have one GA this year. And I have a personal assistant that does like a lot of the administration, a lot of administrative stuff. They do, like scheduling or when we do like get buses, hotels, stuff
Mhm.
like that, travel. Um, and yeah, so it's just two coaches, I handle the offense and the actual skill development. That's one thing that I am very big on these first couple years is getting ready, getting us ready for that. So like I think that X's and O's these first couple years, or I would say the first year was kind of secondary. I just want us to be confident in just playing the game, right? Without even thinking about it, just being confident in our ability. And I think I was successful. I think, more so this year we'll do a little bit more X and O's, but again, these first couple years are just big on X or big on development. And so my GA will be helping out in that area as well. But I'm looking, man, the GA that we're about to, so my assistant coach this past year became a head coach at Knox College. Shout out to Knox College and Coach Kaya Baker. She came in January and had not played flag, had not played football since eighth grade. She had just graduated college, and she was great for us. And anyway, got a head coaching job after 3 months of being in the game. I love that. And so, the coach that I bring in next, preparing them to be a head coach, so they're going to be helping out with basically everything, so, but our team has we'll have two very dedicated coaches. Um, and I think that's going to help us out a lot.
Okay. Well, talk to me a little bit about, you mentioned a little bit, but dive into your coaching style, what you're trying to do there, as with you as the head coach, kind of what are you doing with the girls and trying to put your stamp on things.
Okay, so I'm big on building confidence. Like I kind of mentioned, I think building confidence is if you're confident, that will translate to all areas of life. And that's what I'm really big on. I am a teacher, so I am going to teach you how to think. I don't want to just teach you to be a robot and just do what I say, right? I try to teach you how to think. I think that's what helped me out as a player. I wasn't the tallest, wasn't the fastest, but I think that I was very smart and I understood the game very well when I played tackle football. And I think that same thing can happen right now with girls flag football. Girls that can think for themselves and don't have to just be told what to do. Those girls are going to be the ones that excel. But development wise, like I mentioned, that's key for me. And I think that that's why it was brought on to the Swedish national team was because, in the Nordic countries, football in itself is not a big sport, but flag is definitely not big. And so, we're able to, I was able to teach them some things that, I've learned. And I think that, it definitely helps out. But so the same thing for the PW team, we're at it every single day. And I believe that, if I can get you more flexible, more explosive, better IQ, more confidence, oh, that's really all we need, right? Another thing I'm really big on is hands. So I was a catch specialist for my business HTA, which stands for Hands Team Academy. I believe that catching the ball is, to me, the number one thing in flag football. Some people might say, some people might differ, but I definitely think, man, if you have a team that catches 95% of the balls or more, you're not going to lose the game. And so that's one of the huge things. So, everyone knows at P&W, if we don't catch the ball, we're doing push-ups. So over the whole entire year last year, we did 5,000 push-ups. We had names for them all. Like, we have dirty 30, drop down, give me a dirty 30 or a nifty 50 or a hundo bundo. So, that's what I would say. Our girls got a lot better catching wise. The girls who came from like volleyball, softball, soccer, their hands got 10 times better from August to May when we ended. They actually thanked me for that.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
awesome. Well, what about the off season, right? You play in the spring, so what's happening in the fall with your girls? What are they working on? What are they doing? Especially I guess this fall will probably be kind of your biggest one, right? Because you got a full team coming back, new kids coming in. What's that going to look like?
So the cool thing is, we go back late. Actually, the first day of school is I'll be flying back from Prague. Um, but we'll start that late, like that last weekend, that last week of August. And we will be going 3 days a week. We're in the weight room 3 days a week as well. It's a lot of film. This year, I'm going to install the offense a little bit earlier. But I think that in the fall this year, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to give everybody a chance to play something different, right? And because a lot of girls, exit meetings, they're talking about, hey, coach, I think I could have been used here. That's your chance. That's your chance to really show me what you can do. By the time we hit, the latter half of the semester, I plan to have some scrimmages. The luxury of being able to play my travel team. My travel team is very good. Um, I think playing a couple other schools gives us, a pretty good semester of prep going into the season. Um, but we're trying to implement 100 balls a day. So, if you're not doing 100 catches at practice, you're expected to get them in with either your roommate, teammate, whatever. But that's going to be a huge thing for us. But a lot of people don't think about this, but we do interview prep. So we get ready for like jobs. So, last year I had all the girls go to we had a job fair, even though we had freshmen, right? We had to get them, business attire, all that stuff. We're trying to prep you for the real life. So, we'll try to do like one trip to Chicago, and one trip to Chicago and just like go experience the city, go experience being out there. But then also, like I said, we prep for interviews. We're gonna go to one job fair, and the goal is for everyone to lock down an internship or a job. We don't want people going, leaving college, you know, and waiting to get a job right now. We want to lock that in now, so we try to do the necessary work to, secure that.
No, I love that. Well, Coach, you've given us an awful lot of information. This has been an amazing conversation. I'm gonna just leave you with one last question, and that is, what didn't we talk about? What did we miss? What is it that you want to make sure folks know, whether that's about recruiting, about uh, Purdue Northwest, about anything? What did we miss? What else do we need to make sure people know?
So I just had a girl on campus the other day, and she was just kind of telling me like she was kind of like nervous about reaching out to coaches. And I just want girls, and families to know that like you're going to have to step out your comfort zone and reach out to coaches. Again, like I said earlier in the interview, um, the girls that do that are going to get opportunities. It's very simple. There's thousands of girls out there, and there's only like maybe 200 coaches that can give, maybe 150 coaches that can give out scholarships. So like you're going to have endless opportunities, and you're going to have a better opportunity at getting an opportunity in college if you reach out. And I just want girls to understand that, and families, um, if you invest in this, like, get them on a club team, get them in training, it can really change their life. Right now, flag football is, so young, and these girls that are playing right now are going to be the next wave of coaches. They're going to be running camps. They're going to be having products for flag. It's going to be something so amazing. It's like this next boom. Like you said earlier, it's like the gold rush. And so I do feel like if you just put a little bit of an investment right now into your girls, it'll definitely pay off, or has the opportunity to pay off in the future. But Matt, I just want to say again, thank you for inviting me on here. I really had a great time talking to you out there in Amsterdam. And I hope to see you, man. I hope to see you at
Yeah,
something, you know.
we'll run into each other again. I know that's going to happen for sure. So especially, well, I mean, what all the big tournaments down here in Tampa, man. I'm just down the road, so
Gotcha.
I'm sure we'll see each other. But hey, I appreciate the time and look forward to speaking with you again. All right,
For sure, man. Thank you so much.
thank you.